I enjoy making short form videos if they are really short.
But it's dying.
I think so.
First off, I'm just going to say welcome to something entirely new for this channel and my comfort zone, I guess, because I haven't done a podcast like this ever. So this is going to be a first. And I don't know what this podcast is going to be called. I've been thinking about some names. One of the names that I like is Primed and Ready.
Primed
and Ready.
I don't hear it.
Primed and Ready. When you lock and load your gun, it's like it's primed and ready.
I see it.
Primed and ready to go.
I like that.
Right?
I like that.
That's a nice one.
Yes. I think of Peter. I think tactical. Tactical. And I guess that's so it's a good name.
I remember when I was talking with Peter McKinnon, we discussed that, and he said he was like a tacty dad.
Yeah.
I like that.
I can see that.
But this podcast is going to be more about everyday things, I guess, and a little bit less about the camera space so much.
Oh.
More so about what we do. I think we're going to adjust that camera if you're going to sit that high.
The thing is, I felt like I'm
No, it's good.
laying down.
Lean back.
Yeah,
lean
but like
into it.
I think I have a hole in my pants too, so it's not like you
Yeah,
have to blur that out.
Nobody's going to care about that tiny worm
Yeah, it's true.
peeking out there.
You'll need a 600 millimeter zoom on that one.
The podcast went sideways directly.
2 minutes. And
But there you go, a little bit of everyday things. It's going to be more so about, I guess, tech stuff in general, and not so much about camera specs, camera stuff, I guess. Of course, we're going to dive into it, but I want this to be more so about just hanging out. I want you that are watching, or those of you that are listening, to join in, have a good time, and just hang out with me and the guest that is on the show. And from there on, we're just going to take it as it comes. And today, Olle.
hey,
Nilsson. Applause.
I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah,
it's honored to be
been a long time.
The first episode.
Yeah, first episode.
Wow.
Olle Nilsson in person. And that's also one thing that I want to bring up on the podcast is that I'm not going to drop episodes of people that I'm recording with online. Every single guest that I have on the show needs to be in real life.
Yeah.
That's like the premise of the whole thing.
I think that is a great idea because sometimes with like online, many people don't have good microphones and you're sitting like with AirPods on and it turns out like the
worst Zoom meeting ever.
Or it could like obviously there are interviews and stuff that are very interesting with people that has the microphone. That's not the what do you say? That's not the most important thing, but I really like that to have the flow between you.
Yeah,
and
the
me
flow and
whenever-
connection.
Yeah, the connection between when sitting in the same room.
Yeah, it's entirely different.
Yeah, it's entirely different.
It becomes something else. And that is something that I want to have in the podcast because a lot of you that are watching, especially for those of you that have been watching my channel, have seen me meet up with you and a lot of other different personas over the years. And I want you to be a part of how it actually is when we're sitting down, when we're talking.
Yeah.
Because I think like what you're seeing is mostly the edited version, if you may, right?
Yeah.
We were discussing about the fact that we're both speaking English.
Yeah.
And how hard it is. Now that you've been doing YouTube for quite some time, how do you feel about the English part to begin with?
Yeah. I get a lot of comments actually saying, hey, your English is great. But I don't see it that way.
It has improved.
It has. I can when I check back on older videos, I can tell it's improved. But the thing is, I cut a lot of things out. I don't know how many like I have.
We all do.
Yeah, we do. And like when I meet like maybe my grandmother saying, hey, your English is so good, and I'm like, yeah, but. Thank you, but I cut a lot of
and you're like, yeah, all you can say is hello.
I know that it has improved, but I can. When I said to the earlier, like off cam, that I'm sorry, you have to cut this a lot because I will.
Honestly, I don't think we need to cut it as much as you think.
No, maybe not.
Mainly because again, it's about becoming better at talking and. One of the things that I like with this is that you have these natural pauses.
Yeah.
You know, something that I'm starting to get a little bit fed up with on YouTube is that it's like
Totally agree.
everything goes so quick, and I've seen more people actually doing as you know, include the natural pauses instead and be like, oh, and now we're gonna move into this. You know?
Like I personally feel that I like cut pretty quickly, but I've seen other creators that are like they're cutting the short form thinking into the long form videos, and it's not like a problem with it. That's how the world works, I guess. We should boom, 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 super quick. But I'm kind of tired of it.
Yeah,
I want more this silence. And I know a friend who's listening to podcasts and so on. He's listening to podcasts like 2x speed.
Yeah, it's a
I'm like, what is this?
That's so hard.
Yeah,
that's intense.
It's like a robot, like just taking it all in just to get it in. And
but something I'm thinking of when you're listening that fast is, do you actually take it in or do you just hear it? You know,
that is a question I will never know the answer to because I want it slow.
Yeah, slow, steady pace. I feel like the older I get, I want to have it a little bit slower, a little bit. I'm getting a little bit more conservative. You know, I want it to be like the old times.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, like that's an entirely different discussion.
It is. I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you feel that your what do you call it? The
lack of focus.
Yeah. How long can you focus on something like that? What do you call that?
You mean the...
I need a word for it.
Yeah, I don't really know the word, but I know what you mean. Yeah. Like how long you can pay attention.
Yeah, the attention span.
Yeah, the attention
we have
span.
Do you feel that your attention span has lowered since the last 5 years?
Yeah, 100%.
The same goes here.
It's actually, if we jump into social media, I feel that for me, it has become very strange. Right now, because I don't consume it in the sense that I would like to consume it. I consume it in a way that I think the app wants me to consume it.
You consume it in a way that you think the app wants to consume it.
Yeah, so I go in and scroll, and then I jump into someone, I scroll their stuff, and then I jump back. Even though I pay no interest to what I'm seeing. It's more so like, oh, that was cool. You know, go in. Yeah. So
it's kind of autopilot.
I guess you can say that. Because for me, like what I use Instagram for, or what I want to use Instagram for example, because I don't use TikTok or Snapchat or anything else. It's like Instagram, YouTube, that's it.
Yeah.
But what I want to use it for is to stay in touch. I love watching stories from you, like Teppo, Arnolfer. I like watching those stories because it feels like I'm connected even though I'm not there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't care less for what's on the feed.
No, yeah. I see what you mean. And
how about you?
My attention span has lowered.
Yeah. How did you notice that?
You don't want to know. I was watching like a regular movie. I tried to like, okay, I want to get into watching the Marvel, like all the movies.
Cinematic Universe.
I've seen one. Because
this guy.
Yeah, I know. And I feel ashamed of it.
Like what I would give to be in your shoes, to see it all again for the first time.
Yeah. I actually read online how to watch like the Marvel, in which orders and so on. And I saw like somebody writing just that, like, I want to watch it all over again. And so I will try. Yeah. But, you know, kids, work, and then...
Yeah, I mean, like getting 3 hours to watch a movie, that's rough.
It is. It honestly is. You're tired.
Yeah.
You want to go to sleep and then...
100%.
But I will watch it.
But you feel like your attention span, like you can't get through an entire movie without doing something else.
Yeah, I can get through, but I feel like when there's a dip in the what's happening in the movie, maybe there's a storyline that I don't really vibe with, then I just... Where's my phone? But then I have to like remind myself, no, don't pick up the phone.
God damn it!
Because I don't want to be that kid. Just yeah. And my little brother, I think he's 15. I
That has to be chaos.
Yeah, I don't know if he watches a movie. I don't know. I need to ask him because they're scrolling like social media and TikTok, and they've been growing up with that in the last 10 years. So I need to ask him because I don't think he can watch like a whole 3-hour movie.
Though.
Yeah, it is.
I was talking to my son. Alex is now turning 5 this year, which is insane. I can't believe like when
It's incredibly
made some vlogs like in 2019, 2020. I'm going to throw them up on the screen right now. He was just born and now he's turning 5 this year. Where did all that time go? Wow. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, time is going by so quickly.
Yeah, and then I was talking to him yesterday because we were scrolling through it. Like, we don't have any movies on Blu-ray. Like, everything is digital, right? Yeah. So we have Apple TV, and we have fiber at home. It's like 1,000, so it's quick. It's like super quick. But as we were scrolling through, he was like, I want to watch the Super Mario Brothers movie. And I was like, okay. Went into the library because we bought it when it came out. And then everything is grayed out. Like there's no images on the movies.
Okay.
It's like it's just buffering.
Yeah, it's like a bug.
It's like grayed out. And he's like, Dad, why is it like this? And I'm like, hold on, it's just the internet. And he's like, we can't watch a movie? And I'm like, yes, we can. We just have to wait. You know, when Dad was younger, it's like, here's the VCR.
Exactly.
Kind of weird how they grow up in an entirely different time, but we still have to adapt into it in a way.
Exactly. And imagine in 10 years.
No, I don't. I'm going to be that old grumpy dude who's going to like, well, you know, in my time, I was lifting 3 times your body weight, son. I want to jump back to YouTube and our job a little bit because it's now been, what did we say, like 3.5 years?
I think so. I think it was 2021.
Yeah, so 3 years since you were here.
Yep.
The first time.
Yeah.
I saw you on TikTok because I got recommended by a friend. On YouTube, you had like 5,000 or 7,000 or something like that.
I think I had 2,000.
2,000.
I think. Yeah. It was the time where I started doing Instagram, posting photos, basically. And then I started doing like short form videos and like, hey, check the photos I took here. And I got a lot of followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's when people started asking, hey, do you have a YouTube channel? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel now. And I did. And I converted like from 400,000 followers, like 2,000 to YouTube.
Wow.
So I kind of had a starting point.
Yeah. How do you feel the conversion from TikTok or Instagram to YouTube is?
It's very tricky.
Yeah.
It's incredibly tricky. Like I have 2.5 million people following my TikTok page.
2.5 million.
That's a whole nother story as well.
Yeah, okay. We're not going to dive into that.
No, it's 2.5 million people do not see my videos.
Yeah,
but
that's
keep
the
it
algorithm.
There's not many people going from TikTok into YouTube because I see it as 2 entirely different audiences.
I realized we can just turn this off and leave it on Ambilight. I've had the Philips logo just like.
Yeah. Sponsored by.
It's like the first episode. Back to the followers.
I see TikTok and YouTube, and they're 2 totally different audiences.
In what sense?
TikTok is, this might sound weird, but regular people.
Yeah.
And YouTube is more niched photography.
Sort of like dedicated.
Yeah, exactly. And people on TikTok they have a shorter attention span, I guess. Not everybody, but many people. When they're on the app, like myself, I'm not feeling like watching. I feel like I want to get like fed with different like content. And the people that are on this app feels the same. So that's why they're not like, oh, I want to go watch his YouTube video for 20 minutes. No, that's not
I understand what you mean. And something that I usually say to my acquaintances when they say like, well, what's the difference between having like 600,000 followers on YouTube and then 600,000 on Instagram? And I always say, how many times do you go into Instagram and search for what you want to see?
Never.
Never, right?
It's very unlikely.
And then how many times do you do that on YouTube?
Like every time,
Almost every
Yeah.
time. You go and you search for something that you want to see, so you choose to see it.
Exactly.
So you went from 0 to 2,000, basically.
Yeah, and I'm very lucky to be in that place, to start off with 2,000
That's
subscribers. That not maybe all other people start with 0 and have to grind through
No,
that
but
harsh.
you did too.
I
I
did,
mean, like you converted some of the followers.
I did. So, but I am aware that I am happy that I had the starting.
Like a boost.
Startskott in English. What's that? Rocket
starting fire. I don't know.
I had
the booster.
a booster in the beginning, and I'm grateful for it. And I see many people from 0 to 100. That is tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a very hard.
I would say that the absolute hardest is 0 to 1,000.
I can imagine.
It is.
I can imagine.
A grind.
And I didn't have that, so I'm very grateful and happy for that. But on the other hand, I worked hard for TikTok videos. And
Yeah,
so
you did, and that is something for me. When it comes to people working hard for something, or creating stuff, doing their thing, that is something I appreciate, and that is one of the reasons why I invited you. I remember watching your content, and I'm like, well, shit. You should have a YouTube channel. Like, why are you not paying attention to your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
But when you came here, you were still working a regular daytime job.
Yep.
At a hardware store, not hardware store, tech store.
Tech store.
Yeah.
Selling chargers for
Selling
phones.
stuff. You didn't think that YouTube was going to be an actual possibility when you were here. You were like, that's
not
never going to happen.
No, no, I was not. And the thing. I remember when you're posting a lot of short form content, TikTok gives you the lottery and hey, you got 1 million views, yay! It kind of is a lottery, but and then you start uploading to YouTube. But you need to put out 10 times the amount of work for one video. It gets 100 views, and you're like, this is not worth it. And then you can post a single video on a sunset, which gets 3 million views on TikTok. So that's, I guess it's easy to say, but it is important to not compare the views, because 100 views. I personally see 100 views on YouTube is way more than 10,000 on Instagram.
That's interesting.
I see it that way, or I try to, because people are more invested in YouTube. They put in more time. So 100 people that care versus 9,500 people that don't care. Maybe a harsh.
No, but I think it's kind of a valid point, especially nowadays when you see, I've been doing some Instagram reels every now and then, and all of a sudden you get that one reel that just pops off.
Yep.
Right? Gets 100,000 views, and you're like,
what do you feel when you get that?
I feel how.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the feeling that I got. What is it that made this pop off?
Yeah.
Right? On YouTube, I can still have a sort of a little bit of an indicator.
Yeah.
It's, we discussed that, I think it was last year, how to make a very good intro hook.
Yeah.
We did that a lot back and forth. I was helping you with your videos and you were helping me with mine.
Yes.
And then you can sort of see how it takes off, when you get the entire video nailed down.
Yeah.
But on Instagram, there's no, I have no clue.
No.
All of a sudden it's okay, was it the audio? Was it the popular audio that I used? I don't know. Was it the way that I cut this video? I don't know.
No.
How do you feel when you get a video that's taking, what is it, 45 million views or even more?
I have one with 40 million,
40 million
which
views.
is totally insane. I did not expect it. And usually I think the more time you put in, the worse they perform. But here I actually put in some time. It's actually pretty tricky to film those Rooftop Tents videos, because
there's so many angles.
Yeah,
as well.
so many angles, and I always do them when there's like interesting weather,
Yeah.
because that makes an interesting video. So when it's stormy or rainy, and it's a pain. It is, but it's a lot of fun. But like, yeah, changing angles, going there, changing the camera again, making sure it's focused, and then switching angles a lot, just to make an interesting video. Because if it was just like a camera on a tripod, me setting up a tent, it wouldn't reach anywhere.
All right. So for those that are listening now that are thinking like, I want to have 40 million views on my videos, what did that give you?
It did give me a collaboration.
All right.
Yeah, and afterwards they saw the video.
Yeah.
They specifically said, "Hey, we saw this video and wanted to collaborate."
So you could like borrow a tent.
No, not with the tent manufacturer. This is a drone company called DJI.
That's actually pretty huge.
Yeah.
So DJI saw the video.
Yes.
And they wanted to make something with you.
Yeah. Not like a tent video.
Yeah.
But they just saw, and then I guess I popped up on someone's phone on
That's interesting.
on the office there. But that's a good thing.
But then you're landing in this thing. Okay, so now I need to deliver this again.
Yeah, or their expectations are pretty high.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that?
That is very hard. That is something I struggle with. I always try to be open with who I'm collaborating with, that it is, I can guarantee this.
Yeah.
This is, because honestly, I see it as a kind of a lottery. It is.
And then we're back to this. So do you have any idea why that video went viral?
I kind of, or I have my thoughts.
You have your thoughts, but you don't have any sort of proof.
No. And I've been applying the same recipe to my other like rooftop tent videos, and all of them have I think over 3 million.
So then
views.
we have the question here, Olle. Do you want to give it away?
I can. I can. No. The thing, okay. The thing is, angles.
A lot of them, right?
A lot of them. But honestly, I think a big factor here is the actual rooftop tent.
All right. Yeah.
I have a link. No, just kidding. No, I actually think it's the rooftop tent, because many people maybe have seen them, but then don't know how they look when they're folded out. And it's interesting because it's something, it's not new, but it's something that kind of gets your eye.
Yeah, for sure.
That combined with many angles, a pretty nice hook. This is also something I have thought out. In the end of the videos, I always do something that I know. In the end of these videos, I know there's going to be people complaining and
driving engagement.
Yep. And so in my first video, I did all this work putting out, and it's like raining a lot and it's very cozy. And in the end, I'm taking up my laptop watching Harry Potter. And this is a divider. Because I got millions of comments saying,
I can imagine like, oh, man is going out in nature just to enjoy the digital world.
Yeah, exactly. This is not camping. Oh my God, this is glamping, or this is. But that was not my thought. The first video.
Yeah,
that was something I
came up with. Like after
so
it took
in
off.
my other rooftop tent video, I grabbed a Nintendo Switch and started playing Lego Harry Potter.
So like sort of like same thing.
Yeah, and I know this will make people mad.
Yeah,
and it did. But like, honestly, who?
So
cares?
there you go. There you have the recipe.
Yeah,
drive engagement, make people pissed off.
but I actually read people do like misspell stuff.
Yeah.
To have people like complain, hey, you misspelled.
I was actually, I think Daniel Schiffer posted a video on that where he said, or a story or something, where he said like, well, he always includes a mistake so that people comment on that.
Yeah.
And I also try to do that in my videos. So like say something wrong, or, maybe write a spec wrong, so someone will like, that's not what the camera does. And I'm like, I know.
I'm not really like, how do I feel about this? I'm not really sure I like it. I hate the negativity that is all on social media.
I know.
But
We're gonna jump into that.
Yeah.
The whole
But I
that
am.
and working with this. But
Yeah.
I want to scroll back a little bit to YouTube journey because now we talked about the Instagram, the viral stuff. But before you actually got there, you had some viral stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
And then when you started YouTube, you also started push more on Instagram as well, right?
Yeah.
So when you were here the first time, we discussed that you should start making videos on YouTube and focus on that as your main thing.
Yeah.
What I think is very interesting is how you manage to combine the way that you shoot for Instagram and TikTok while focusing on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
As I understand it, the way that you do your videos is that you go out, you shoot stuff for your YouTube videos that you then use on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah. Exactly.
I like that.
Nice to hear that.
When you were here the first time, you had no plan.
No.
And I remember you were like, I don't want to speak English. I don't want to.
Exactly. I had no plan.
How did you create your own recipe for what works? Because now, how many subscribers have you now?
110,000.
He's got the silver plaque. That's
Yeah.
sick.
That was nice.
Congrats.
That was such a cool thing.
It feels like I was sort of like Yoda, and
Yeah.
he's been my
Definitely.
Jedi.
Definitely.
And now it's the opposite. I'm starting to die, and he's taking over. You know.
The biggest difference is that you're way bigger than I am.
So you say, like I've been working on the garage now, so I'm like shrinking down and just expanding on the waist.
But the fun thing about, I guess I have two answers, one official and one honest.
All right, let's hear the official first.
The official is I wanted to be very, what do you call it? I want to be effective when I'm out and doing YouTube videos, like getting...
Want to get much done.
Yeah, much done. And then I have some footage that I'm going to use later on, like while editing a YouTube video, I put up Instagram and TikTok videos about it. The honest thing is just me being miserable and like, fuck this. I don't want to do YouTube right now. I feel, I don't want to do it. It's not like that, but I don't feel inspired or I'm miserable right now. Then I focus on TikTok and Instagram because that doesn't need as much thinking. So I like, okay, I spend a week like doing short form with the stuff I have on my hard drives and focus on that. And then I get back to YouTube. And like, oh, I'm so excited for YouTube. That is a problem for me, but I've learned to work around it because I really go up and down in waves for me.
I understand that because we've been having a lot of phone calls.
We have.
You know, where Olle calls me and he's like, "Well, I'm not motivated at all. I don't want to do this collaboration, or I don't want to do this video. I feel like I'm not." How do you handle that? Like, what is your brain processing? Because going from 2,000 subscribers to 116,000 and turning away from your old job to make YouTube your full-time thing, which you have, right?
Yes.
Then everything is relying on you having the motivation to do those videos.
Yes. And at the same time, raising a kid.
Yeah,
from
two
now. But from like 2021.
Yeah.
2020. You don't say that. 2021.
2020, no, that works.
Yeah, it works. Then he was like 1. So now he's 4.
So it's easier now.
No, it's way harder because now we have 2.
Oh, yeah, true. So it was easier for a bit.
Yeah, it was easy for a bit. No, but it's been tough. Your question was, how do you handle it?
Yeah, how do you handle the feeling of not being motivated when you need to make the videos?
Yeah,
that needs to be.
To be honest, it's a struggle I have.
Yeah,
it is tricky. I sometimes feel bad for not being motivated because this is a dream job.
Yeah.
And I'm standing here like complaining.
So you have a little bit of a guilt, right?
Yeah, except guilt is the perfect word. And that is something I struggle with like to this day. But I've been learning to work around it. Now I've been learning to, if I don't feel like this week, I'm working on a review video and I'm not in the mind of like writing my like script that I want to say. I'm not in the mindset. So I actually yesterday just took a day off went for a super long walk looking for fox dens and
Nice.
owl spots and stuff. That is what I do when. So that's my thing.
That's your escape.
Yeah,
right?
that's my escape, my getaway, and it always comes back to like photographing animals or looking for animals.
Yeah, because that is what you really want to do.
Exactly. That's
That's the epitome of Olle.
exactly. And I see it as my hobby.
Yeah.
And my work is doing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And they like
They like intertwine.
They do,
right?
and I'm super like grateful for that.
I think it's a valid question that you ask, like, or not a question, but a valid point about, you know, we're sitting here, we're having a dream job. Like, I would not trade this for the world.
No.
But on the flip side, I was talking to some friends saying that when I started doing this, like when I quit my job in 2019, I have not worked this much that I've done for the last 4 years in my entire life before.
Yeah.
And as I told Olle in the car when we're driving here, I've been building on my garage, right? And to be able to do that, I was hustling hard, like the entire fall. I had a product launch, I had collaborations, I had YouTube videos, I had a house to build. I was working 16-hour days every single day of the week.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's insane.
But then again, you know, it's like I have the opportunity to do this, and I can take 4 months off to build on my garage, which is going to benefit me in the future. But am I motivated this entire time? No.
No.
I'm not. At some point, it feels like you're standing there and like, I can't complain, can I?
Exactly.
It's like, am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
It's like, can I say I don't like this today? Hey?
Exactly. We're sitting here. It's Friday, drinking coffee.
And just recording us talking crap.
Exactly.
It's like, no, but, and that's the weird thing, because I wouldn't say that it's like the majority of the time it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like, it's some of the best things that you can do.
Definitely.
But you also got to be prepared to not only be a YouTuber, you're going to be like a public person.
Yeah.
You're going to talk to a camera, and you're going to be the judge, jury, and executioner of your videos. You're going to have brands that you're working with that is going to put pressure on you.
Yeah.
And also, you got to maintain and run your own business,
Yeah.
right? So it's not just being a YouTuber.
No.
It's not just making the fun videos.
No.
And that is why I understand that the pressure in and by itself of making that video is much bigger than just, you know, writing down the script.
Yeah. Definitely. You said about pressure from brands and so on.
Yeah.
And that is also a good thing and a bad thing in my.
But that becomes bigger the bigger your channel gets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. You kind of get more independent the bigger you get, I guess.
Yeah. Also, in a way, you feel like shit when your videos is like you have 600,000 subscribers and then you get 12,000 views, and you're like, fuck, this sucks. I'm a bad videographer. I'm a bad YouTuber. But
this is a thing worth discussing because it is.
You want to jump into that?
I can jump into that
because that is something that is sort of like leaning into our next thing, where it's like, can you rely on just YouTube alone? You have this steady income coming from this company that you're working on, but then you quit that, and then the only money that is coming in is from AdSense.
Yeah.
Right? Would you say that is enough
No.
to make a like sustainable living for what we do? Right?
Not for me, my channel. It can pay my rent, like my studio rent.
Yeah.
It's tricky because I'm not in control of it.
Yeah, it's the only control you have is the more videos that you make.
Yeah. If they perform.
Yeah, if it performs. And that's the tricky part.
Yeah, it is. And then you get into this hassle of thumbnails and titles. That is also a thing that I've gotten some comments lately saying like, hey, we don't want you to go in this direction, like making clickbaity titles and so on.
I like them.
And thank you. And personally, I don't think my videos are that clickbaity.
They should see my vlog channel.
I'm quitting this.
Yeah.
It's like
enough.
I really do think a lot about my titles and thumbnails. You have to.
Yeah.
If you're in the game, you can just put up.
I mean, that's the job, right?
I guess. Yeah.
We are trying to compete with the audience that is served our content.
Exactly. And I know this. Many people, they get mad about clickbaity titles and so on, but they click on the video.
Yeah, and
so I guess
I think one of the reasons has to do with people not being in the business of YouTube, because when you're in it, you understand it.
Yeah.
But when you're not, you're just a consumer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
You can clearly see a difference if you put an effort into like title and thumbnail versus if you're not.
Yeah.
But then we have the times where you do that and the video flops anyways. Yeah, the click-through rate and so on. That is a whole nother thing. I guess
we could talk for hours today about YouTube.
But,
there's so many things, especially when you're working with this every day.
It becomes like because I talked to a friend, Kalle Flodin, about this yesterday, that you make a video, you put a lot of effort into making a video, and maybe it's a collaboration and you want it.
Yeah, of course. You want it to perform.
You want it to perform. It sometimes feels like it all comes down to a choice in the end.
Yeah.
What title and thumbnail should I do?
Yeah.
And it's like a flaskhals. What's that?
It's like a bottleneck.
Bottleneck, yeah. Maybe it's not that easy, but it kind of feels like it all depends on that in the end. And I have to like pack it down into a package that sells, not literally sells, but that people click on and watch and enjoy. And it's very hard. It's very tricky to do that.
Yeah, I tend to see it the way that you go into a store, right? So you're standing in a store and then you see, for example, I'm a huge Philips Hue fan. I love Philips Hue. Everything that you see here in the studio is Philips Hue, almost. And it's going to be in the new studio as well. But they have, their boxes, they look good.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm like, looking at the boxes, and I'm like,
I want it.
I'm going to grab a Philips Hue.
I want this. Yeah.
So it's like, is it that much different than actually, going to YouTube and then you watch a thumbnail, then you're seeing like, well, this attracts me and this piques my interest. Yes. Same with the product, right? Because that's what you're trying to sell.
That's a very good reference, or what do you call it?
Analogy.
Analogy, yeah.
That's a more beautiful word, no?
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely like a package. You sell something, or people will not sell, but you.
Yeah, but we are selling.
Yeah, we're selling a video. Yeah, we're selling ourselves.
No, but when we do this, back to what we talked about a little bit with the views, right? So the bigger the channel, the bigger the pressure becomes of the videos actually performing.
Yeah.
Right? Have you felt that?
Yeah, I have.
And how do you feel about that?
The pressure of a video performing when you're making a regular YouTube video without a sponsorship is pretty big. Like I want it to perform. Because you're in the game. You want, obviously, but with a collaboration, someone else is expecting it, and that's sometimes very tricky.
Yeah, and when you have a brand standing behind you, this is the way that I feel, is that I want it to perform even better.
Yeah.
Not only because the brand is paying money to be visible, like in your video, but also you want to deliver your skills to the brand so that the brand comes back for another video.
Yep.
It's like business 101. So I took a great comparison with sort of like the carpenters that is building my house. There was this other day where they said like, well, you had an issue there and we fixed it. Hope that's cool. And they over-delivered. Yeah. Right? I didn't pay anything extra for it, but they over-delivered. And I'm like, well, wow, of course I'm going to come back to you. Right?
It's a small thing, but it really, like the whole experience really.
And that is sort of like what the views, I mean, like you can deliver the video, but the extra is the views. Like does get a lot of views. That is weird, because that is the entire mental thing that is sort of like dragging you down, because you spend this huge amount of time on the video and then post the video, and then all of a sudden it flops. Yeah. It just dies. It lies to rot.
Yeah, it's the worst.
And you're like, how do I revive this?
Like you have the pressure on yourself. Video is you need to perform. You have the pressure from the company you're working with. The video is gonna perform. but I also have a pressure from the viewer because every time I'm still in the mindset after 3 years of YouTube, I'm still in the mind of like, it's a bit dirty when I'm like putting up, and I don't like that but I've never gotten like bad comments, like saying something like, hey, you suck and you make very bad sponsorships and so on.
But you feel a little bit dirty when you're doing the sponsorships.
Yeah, I don't know why, because like ads are everywhere and it pays you have to do it. But I'm very glad people like
watch your stuff.
Yeah, or accept it, or what do you say?
The way that I see it is that you become a face for the brand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So you're gonna be the representation of the brand on your channel.
But then it's very important that you can stand behind it.
Yeah, 100%.
The day that I don't do that is the day my YouTube channel is dead.
Wow. Let me tell you some stories. No. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career as a YouTuber. So there was this one of the biggest that I did that I still to this day feel kind of bad for.
Okay. Yeah.
Is I was getting an email, right? So this is in 2020, towards the end of 2020. So I got an email from a brand saying, hey, we got a new product that is going to be released. We have this budget. I think it was around $3,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And I really needed the money. And I was reading through the specs and I'm like, okay, sure, let's do it. Dedicated video, if you may. And at this time I had somewhere around like 250,000 subs. I had no idea how to charge for videos.
No.
Okay. So I was like, this is a big chunk of money.
Yep.
So I took that and they sent over the product and I tested the product and it sucked. Oh. I had already signed the contract. So I was like, shit.
Yep.
This is a bad product. And they're like, huh? That's your signature, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then so I had to make the video. I did the video and it sucked. Yeah. I felt really bad for it. I still do.
Yeah.
But I think one of the good things when you do one of those videos is that you learn. Yeah. You learn from the mistakes, and then you know that I will never do one of those videos where I sign the contract beforehand. I always need the product in my hand, test it out before I can actually say that, hey, I can stand behind this product.
Yes. Because that is a very shitty situation. Standing with a product that you don't like or you don't use, and you have to promote it to your followers that look up to you.
Yeah, I know. And that sucks. And to those of you that knows this product, I'm not going to name any brand. Thank you for still sticking around. Hope that you still trust me. Talking about collaborations, though.
Yeah.
We were discussing. We were discussing a little bit about how to sort of like approach brands and that kind of stuff, and that is something I've been doing for a long time.
Yes.
I personally like the business aspect of my YouTube channel and everything around it. I try to make as much as I can. I don't try to hide that either. No. Because I think that, running a business is about both parties benefiting from each other. Yeah. Right. But one of the things that I did that I want to tell you as well, because this is great for someone that wants to, maybe work with a brand in the future.
Yeah.
It was that I had a brand that I was working with, and before I pitched the idea of a collaboration in a specific video, I recorded the actual integration into the video and then sent the brand the video with the integration saying like, hey, I love your products and I love your stuff. Here's a video that I'm about to release. I was just wondering if you want to sponsor this video. Here's the integration.
Yeah.
I showed them how it could look like, how it could be before they even asked me about anything. Yeah, and they're like, smart. We like it.
If you don't do that, like the regular way, you sell something that it's not created yet.
Exactly. So you're selling a premise.
Exactly.
But you don't have anything. You can't show them anything. So now it was like, here, this is a complete product. This is what it can look like. Yeah. Of course, you can change stuff, but here's what I would do. And they bought it.
That's awesome.
And from there on, they're a great partner that I'm working with to this
That
day.
is very smart.
It is.
Yeah, and honestly, kind of nice from your side as well, because then you don't have to worry about like, okay, I need to make this work now.
I know.
Then you can just send it off, and if they don't like it, sure, and just cut it out.
And it's also a very good thing if you're, if you're a freelancer.
Yeah.
It's this kind of the same principle. Because so many times I've been getting the question like, how do I get to work with a big brand? How do I get to work with Sony? And it's like, if you don't have anything to show, why should they offer to pay for your services?
Yeah.
And that was sort of what we were discussing, when you want to work with a brand, when you want to, find a nice collaboration, you gotta understand what you can deliver. And the more you can show what you can deliver, the better the collaboration will probably turn out.
Yep.
Because then you can stand behind it to 100%, and you take the initiative to create the offer.
Yeah. I can see myself selling butter knives and just like, well, I can create butter knives. Do you want to buy one? No. But if I come with a butter knife like this, is it butter knife? Smörkniv.
Oh, I think so.
Like in wood.
Butter.
Yeah, exactly.
A knife for butter.
Yeah, a knife for butter. And if you have it in your hand, then it's a lot better. I would buy it, but I wouldn't buy it if I didn't see it.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess it ups the chances of
again. We're back to walking into a store.
Yeah,
like there's going to be so much bigger chances that you purchase something when it's in stock, when it's in the actual store. Then if you go into the store and they say, well, we can get this to you in 2 days.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I want it now.
My God, yeah. I have experience with that.
Yeah, I can imagine. We don't have time for that.
No, but I really, I said that for 10 years now.
Yeah.
We need to have it in stock
for
someone who wants to buy it.
Yeah, have the money right now.
I want to go home. It's Friday. I have a good feeling. I want to play around with this stuff.
That is an interesting thing, especially thinking about COVID, because the home delivery just exploded.
Yeah,
ordering stuff online. Something that I felt, especially now, is that I am way more keen on going to the actual store, testing, feeling,
definitely
looking at things.
Me living on the countryside outside of a small town, I love going into stores. This is something I miss a lot. So I have to go very far to do that. But I prefer going to the store, as you say, much more than ordering online, waiting a couple of days. And then we talked about home delivery, how it sucks. Yeah. You're never in the spot. Oh, you're at home now? Oh, it's 12:30. And then you're like, I'm at the studio. And then
the worst kind of delivery is that when you're actually at home and then you get a text, you're actually looking out the window and you get a text we just tried to deliver. No, fuck no, you did not. God damn it.
That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
I preach delivering to ombud. What do you call that?
To what is
depot. No? Oh.
Ombud.
To a place where you can pick up your package. That is the best, because then you can decide I go after work or I do that.
That's true. That's very true.
I want to rant on home delivery. I do not like it.
We're not going to rant about home delivery. God damn it. So now that you've been working on, making YouTube videos for this long, is this something that you can see yourself doing for the coming 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah. 5
years, yes. 15 years, I don't know.
So if I agree. I'm probably going to make YouTube videos for as long as I possibly can, but I don't think it's my, I don't think I'm going to have that as my main goal.
No.
For the future. I want it to be a bonus.
Yeah.
But I also think that when you are starting out, if you are listening to this or watching this right now and you want to start YouTube, if any social media is worth starting, which one would you say it is?
I would say YouTube.
And why is that?
Because the people that are watching are way more engaged. and even if you reach like 10 people, it's most likely 10 people that spend time watching your video and they care more. So you can make a bigger impact than just short form things.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I enjoy making short form videos if they are really short.
But it's dying.
I think so.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
This is controversial.
It's very controversial. But I think
We're ending on a high note here.
yep. I maybe like dying is a big word, but I think people will get tired of the shorts, like super quick thing. And I can only see in my videos, like the POVs are very slow, and they are one of the most performing videos on my channel. I try to do like nature, like videos on TikTok and Instagram, and they work, even if they're slow. And that says something, an indicator, or maybe it's just the algorithm feeding that to those people. I don't know. But personally, I feel kind of tired of the super fast cuttings and so on.
Yeah,
that's why I think, because what I think is the right thing. No, but that's why I kind of feel that it's. Are we just getting old?
I don't know, Olle.
I don't know.
That's the worst part. I'm turning 35 this year.
Yeah, honestly, you're 35. I'm almost 30. We are young.
Yeah, I'm getting old. You're a youngster still.
I'm 29.
Shit, that was when I started my YouTube channel.
Oh,
God
was
damn
it?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
It's like 2018.
Wow.
That's wow. Yeah. You're way ahead of me, boy. I love seeing that you are being able to live from this, that you're actually able to, sustain a living from doing YouTube videos. And it's very, very fun to see like the expansion of views and subscribers that you have been getting for the last 1.5 years, I would say, because it's amazing.
Thank you.
The way that you've helped me to sort of like become better at editing videos, and the discussion that we've had over thumbnails or titles or how do we make the best intro, it's like those things we need to have more.
Definitely.
We always say that, but then it sort of like goes a year and then we're like, we need to do this again. But for anyone that is starting out YouTube, we're sitting here as two YouTubers. So we're going to do this classical, podcasting. What is the best tip that you would give for someone that wants to start YouTube, Olle?
Yeah.
No, but something that you've learned, because I've been having you under my wings, sort of like
definitely
trying to push you.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Because you've helped me a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to live off this without your tips. And I'm pretty sure about that.
Some sort of Olle analogy here. He wouldn't be flying without me.
Exactly. I would be a...
He would be a borimare.
No, but honestly, I don't think I would probably make videos, but it would be on my free time.
Yeah.
Because you teach me how to charge, how to think, and everything around the business side that I personally need to work on, because I've said to you, I'm not a businessman.
Yeah, I know. But business is an entirely different thing.
It is, and that's a tricky part.
Yeah, it is.
Again, tricky, but
it is.
It's very tricky because
weird
photographing an owl and running a business,
and especially having a good profit in business, and
that
making
is
sure you have a
very
recurring
hard
income.
to do.
Yeah. But what would be, now looking back at it, what would be one of the key elements that you can take away from this experience of yours? Because as I said, we all have different journeys that we've been through.
You mean the key elements that
that someone should think of if they want to start out YouTube or social media in general?
I'd say connect with people, and it goes in many different directions. But connect with comments. Try to answer as many comments as you. If you started making videos and you get 100 views, you get 2 comments. Reply to those comments. Yeah. Take time, because they have taken time watching your content. I really think it will help you, because you connect, you learn from people. People tell you stuff, and you can ask stuff. And the other thing, connect with other creators. that was helping me.
Yeah.
We like connected and started talking, and it led me into like meeting other creators.
Yeah.
And I really think that is I have a friend who's doing YouTube. He's been doing it for, I don't know if it's half a year or a year or something, and he's starting out. I don't know, I think he have three or 400 like subscribers.
Oh, that's good.
And he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
His name is Christian. He wrote to me on Instagram saying, hey, I love your stuff. Like, let me know if I can help you with something. Do you need help with something? He providing help. And the thing is, I was about to make a video on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And he lives on the West Coast.
Oh, yeah, you told me this.
I just wrote him, hey, do you know any places? It started off like that. And he sent me a lot of places and like great tips. Yeah. And I was like, hey, that's awesome. And thank you so much. And then he offered to help.
Yeah.
And so we met up. We went around and he filmed me for some B-roll shots. And we just had a great time. And now we're talking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're talking on the phone and really like bollar.
Yeah. Lobbying ideas.
Lobbying.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think that is one of the greatest things with that is that you don't have to be, having hundreds of thousands of subscribers in order to reach out to Olle. But something that you have to be able to do is there has to be an exchange.
Yeah.
Or you can't
at least
just
say hi.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, if I just look at my DMs, if someone writes, hi, I would love to help you shoot, I would be like, well, no, I don't know you. But if someone were to write like, hey, Peter, love your stuff. Thank you for your videos. I would probably be more intrigued to like, hey, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meeting new creators definitely helps.
Yeah.
That's how I met you and how I've met a lot of people that I know today. And some of them, some of them doesn't have YouTube channels that they are working as YouTubers or, there's just other people.
Yeah.
And that's, as you said, how we learn. So don't be afraid to ask.
No.
Don't be afraid to go outside the box.
Exactly. Reach out and
1 hour has passed, Olle.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
That's good.
That
Time went
quick.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to give a shout out to, what was his name? Christian Gidlöv. Christian, I'm going to put a link here. It's like if you're listening, no one knows. But Christian, thank you for making the YouTube videos. We're going to send some people your way. Link in the description. Link to Olle is also in the description as well. So you can head over there, subscribe to him, show him some support. He's been working hard lately. And really hope that you enjoyed this podcast. Drop a comment. I think we're going to land in the explicit category unless I do some bleeps.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, shit, piss, asshole. It's like, okay, we're going to bleep that out. It's like, I don't want to have a strike.
No.
But thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video as well. And if you're listening, have a great day.
Thank you for listening. And thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it means a lot to be the first one.
Yeah, that's
very
sick.
cool.
I'm gonna try.
Like when Joe Rogan's sitting here.
It's like, well, do you remember that time 5 years ago? All right.
Yeah.
See ya.